So yeah, now that you've heard me play, I have a question. Have you ever thought about classical music in a way other than the genre type of music? I'm guessing most of you haven't. I can tell right now, since I began my musical experience, that I have experienced what classical music really has to offer, something that thinkers in the 17th century did not really provide. I will allow you all to gain insight into how I experience classical music. I will tell you how you can use music as a way to push your way through life. Greetings to all of you. I am Jack Benjamin. I have been playing violin for 8 years and piano on and off for 10 years. On the side, outside of school, I had taken lessons to improve my playing, lessons I believe have taken more seriously than anything else I've done. When I was in elementary school, I was bullied, as well as middle school. Many people around the world are bullied. And many is honesty and understatement. I decided to pick up piano when I was 7 or 8, and then something happened. I was truly happy. I was enjoying life whenever my hands hit the keys of the piano. The sound of resonating from inside filled me with joy. When I was in 6th grade, I picked up the violin because I could not play piano in the orchestra. So I actually was not sure. And when I finally put the bow in my string, I was feeling happy. I was feeling, every time I did it, it was just a joy that I had never experienced in my life prior. Now you may be asking, what does this have to do with me being bullied? Well, I'll answer that. I was depressed. I was very depressed after from all the bullying that I experienced in high school, middle school, and elementary school. And depression is a terrible thing you have to go through. I can tell you right now that if it wasn't for picking up the violin or the piano, I would have been having a harder time coping with my depression. And playing an instrument heals that sadness that you suffer when you're depressed. When you're depressed, you don't want to eat, you don't want to sleep, you don't really want to do anything at all. And playing an instrument gave you something to do. That music you hear, especially playing an instrument, gives you something to do. The music that you hear, especially once you produce from your own instrument, stimulate your emotions of joy, sadness, fear, disgust, all your emotions. Canon D, for example, the piece I played, it stimulates joy for some, as I learned from a person, a gentleman, who commented after he listened to me play about how he's happy. The cause of this is due to the way the different sounds and tones from the instrument affect your mind. A musician's brain in some ways is more active than others. Playing an instrument requires you to focus on many tasks at once, including reading sheet music, syncing your fingers with your bow as you play the notes. As a result, you can also put that all together, and that becomes Canon D Spring by Vivaldi or Riding Valkyrie by Tchaikovsky. Music has a distinct effect on our brain, and the intensity and pitch, for example. According to a research paper by Julian Cespedes, Guevara, and Thomas Arola, a high intensity pitch, such pitch can evoke positive sense arousal, and it can very well evoke feelings of anger and fear. A high tempo can result in joy or bright emotions. The image you're currently looking at is on the slides are two functional MRI scans from two brains, one of a musician and one of a non-musician. The scan is showing the difference in familiarity to music. According to the research by Broussard, the music excerpts they used in the experiment have a personal memory of 85% of the musicians. This ties into how music helps with depression. Playing a song that has happy memories attached to it can therefore make you a happier person. When you first enter the orchestra classroom, you're probably going to be intimidated. There are a lot of people who are working on pieces that you've never heard before. That is normal. Orchestra's going to be full of a lot of intimidating people. It was intimidating for me. You've been playing for longer. You're usually going to, if you started in high school or you started in middle school, you're going to be behind. Now, this is not a perfect world, but it's not necessarily a cool world. People, your fellow musicians, will help you. They will have your back. They will always be there for you when you need it. And this is not just for orchestra, this is for life. Well, you know that I was worried that I was not going to make friends outside of orchestra. Well, I was wrong. And I made good friends outside of it. Orchestra does not inhibit your ability to make friends outside in the regular environment school. Most people in orchestra have other interests outside of classical music or their instrument. And for some, that may be manga or anime, which you're about to find your own niche for sure. The French-Jamaican orchestra are the friends that are friends you will learn to lean on it for support and love. Why play an instrument? That's a question that aspiring musicians need to ask themselves before picking an instrument. I asked myself that when I was learning piano. I believe that learning an instrument is really up to how dedicated you are. Dedication does not mean you're going to become a professional. What dedication means that you're willing to focus on your assignment. That you're focused, that you're going to practice a piece, you're going to perfect it, no matter how hard or simple it is. That you are going to continue playing your instrument because it's what you love and you're passionate about. And I believe that what musicians need to ask themselves is, are you willing to dedicate your time and your heart to playing and performing? I play violin because I find beauty and solace in the instrument and the music it produces. I have been playing for around 8 years now. Nearly every moment of playing it has been enjoyable. I believe that playing an instrument becomes part of who you are. It has become part of who I am. The friendships I have made in orchestra would not have been possible without being part of that environment, having the passion for music. If you've ever heard the saying, play from your soul, if now on River Orchestra concert or a symphony, pay attention to how the musicians are playing. Because if you watch their body language, if you watch the way their expressions are on their face, you watch the way that their bows move, you can tell that they are indeed playing because they love it and they want to just express that to the world. On Sunday, April 8th, 2018, I participated in an event hosted by my school. I performed a diverse selection of music coming from the classical genre, modern pop, country, and Japanese pop. Sadly, I did not get as many people to listen, though I will say that people did provide me very good data for this. Amazing talking with you. A gentleman had sat with his young daughter to listen, and I asked him to listen to the music, pay attention to how he was feeling. I played Candide by Johann Pachelbel. While I played, I could see his child was actually excited and enjoying it. She was very young. She probably, I believe she wasn't able to, speak. She didn't have, the ability to speak yet. She was still developing that. And so it was just amazing for me to see how music like this gets to that. It gets through to them, even if they don't really understand it yet. Well, he told me that he felt very happy while listening. The wife of my school's headmaster had also given me some information. She said to her that the piece Candide allowed her to reminisce on good memories from her past, saying it made her happy. She told me how, unlike pop or other vocal-based music, classical music can allow you to focus on tasks and concentrate better, without being distracted by the music itself. A few weeks later, I was playing in the park, Carrier Park in Nashville, just for fun. I'll practice mainly because I was practicing for this. And I was told by a few people who were watching me, and they told me that it was a calming piece. It let me calm down with all the chaos, all the loud noises going around us. And a woman who commented on it also said she was so familiar with the piece because it was from all the weddings she's been to, and that it's just a common piece that's used, and it's always something that just makes her happy because it reminds her of those events. And this is relating back to what was said. It's, as Rossard mentioned in her article, or study, 85% of musicians have, and even, I guess, non-musicians from what I've just found, have had personal memories that come back when listening to them. According to the American String Teachers Association, ASTA, report, playing a string instrument required teacher students, time management, teamwork, and practice. I am willing to bet that a lot of people here, parents and children, can relate to some time management issues. I sure can. Before I was in orchestra, my time management was terrible. Orchestra improved my time management skills by a lot. Helped me to do better than average when my time management skills, when I came to SOAR for the first time in fall 2016. The study by the ASTA also mentions how some string students want to pursue a career in string education, like being an orchestra or band director. Both my orchestra teachers were both band students before they became teachers in the environment, in that path. Mr. Belling and Mr. Ellison. they had decided to pursue that career because it's something they realized they're passionate about. Music opens many doors for your adult life, and if you have a love for it, then you work hard at it, becoming better. I have put more hours of practicing my violin than anything other extracurricular activity, more so than just swimming or even weightlifting. You learn the basic ways to care for your instrument when you start learning at whatever level or age. It's because, now here's the thought-provoking question. Are you taking care of your instrument because it is what you're supposed to do? Or are you taking care of it because you care, you value your instrument? For some people, it's because they want a grade and they need a quality instrument to do it. For others, it's because that instrument is part of their life and part of who they are. I hope that you all know the reason I play violin as a way to counter depression, as a way to get through each day of joy. As a violinist, I believe that playing has an impact on my life, and I hope that has an impact on your life. I have this presentation of a quote that I personally relate to all these days. We're all afraid to get up on stage. Maybe you'll mess up. Maybe they'll totally reject you. Even so, you grit your teeth and get up on stage anyway. Something compels us, moves us to play music. Kairo Miyazano, your line able. Thank you.